What's going on, everyone? My name is Andrew Figuarelli. Thank you once again for joining us here at the Hey BigHead Show. I am sitting across, not from Heather Collins this time, I am sitting across from the lovely Stephanie Grime. Stephanie, hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, even before we get into anything, I just want to say, when I invited you onto this, I did it through text, and I really appreciate how, for some reason, I'm a stickler for typing in the right word, like where, using the right word, where and where, there and there. I told you that, you know, dress casual, you can wear whatever you want, but I spelt it W-H-E-R-E, and you called me out instantly, and I'm embarrassed, but I'm also so thankful that you did, because I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. I mean, I had to. I didn't feel like I had a choice, you know.
Please don't hold back. Please don't hold back ever like that.
All right.
So Heather is not here, but we do have Heather in spirit as well. Heather, say hello to everybody. Heather is gone for the week, but Stephanie is here to help fill that seat there. So we're really excited. Not only that, we're excited because Stephanie is our first in-person interview. Yay. So thank you once again.
Very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good. So Stephanie, you and I met at actually Heather's dinner. Heather was doing an event at this beer house, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
And and there were about 15 people there, and you and I just happened to get seats next to each other.
Yes.
And I couldn't have been sat next to a more perfect person, because all we spoke about all night was business. We're talking about social media, we're talking about business, we're talking about life.
I think at one point it felt like a job interview. I think he asked me, where do I see myself?
I did. I actually did ask you, how much do you want to make? I was like 50, 60K. Do you want benefits? What's going on? But no, Stephanie, why is Stephanie here? I will explain this, because this is incredible. For those of you that don't know Stephanie, Stephanie has 1.3 million followers on TikTok. Is that right?
Yes.
You have just under 30 million likes on these TikTok videos.
Yeah. You
have countless videos with millions of views on them. It's absolutely incredible. And the most incredible thing is, this is all, like, your first big video didn't really happen until December of last year.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So please, I could explain, but I think I wouldn't be doing you enough justice if I did. So please explain to everybody what you do and why you are so popular on TikTok.
Okay, so it's funny. So I think I was telling you when we met that night that, you know, I've always kind of wanted to make videos, but I've never had the time.
Sure.
And last year, you know, like a lot of people, for the very first time ever, I was working from home. And I mean, you know, I work a corporate job, and it's very time consuming. And I never ever had time to do things like that. But I'm suddenly working from home. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that was back in like March of 2020. And at the time, I didn't even have TikTok downloaded. Sure. And, you know, I'd heard about it. And I think, like a lot of people, I downloaded it because I was bored.
Of course.
And then I got addicted.
Yes.
You know, and once you start watching them, which we could tell from earlier, you don't watch.
Clearly, I do not.
5 minutes earlier.
If I say the phrase couch guy, what does that mean to you?
Obviously, that means that you sleep on the couch because you are...
Are you serious?
Don't have a bed. Again, that's minor details.
So I started watching, and I just became addicted. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I started like just downloading fun videos, like little cute things of my dogs.
I saw those. It's very cute.
There's definitely some videos that I've gone back and put on private because I find them embarrassing now.
We'll definitely cover those in the after show for sure.
But you know, anyways, you know, I started making videos, and you know, I just kind of started playing around with different things. And you know, people always say like, how, like, I want to make videos, like, how do I get started? And like, you really just need to start.
Sure.
Because I don't know, you know, before like I started putting out videos that people actually liked and started watching, I mean, I was very much just a variety.
And you're doing things like Amazon finds and stuff like that.
And I still do.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I was doing more like things with the dogs, cooking videos, like Amazon finds. And, eventually you'll post something that, you'll find people actually want to see.
Sure.
And, it'll tell you what they like. But like, I think it was like October of 2020, I went shopping with a girlfriend over at this local swap meet. It's called Broad Acres.
Okay.
And I'd heard that you could buy lost mail or unclaimed mail,
Sure.
but like, I'd never really heard of anything like that before. So we were looking for that when we went, and we found it. And it's really funny when you go to a place like that and you start asking people like, hey, I'm looking for the tent that has like the lost mail or the unclaimed mail.
Sure.
Half the people look at you like
you're crazy.
What's wrong with you? Yeah. And then the other half are like, oh yeah, I know where that is. It's, over here, whatever. Anyways, we found it, and they had so much. Like, I couldn't believe it. I had never seen anything like that before. And I was like, this is so interesting.
So you found a tent with a lot of unclaimed mail in it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so they were all packaged, and they had labels on them. And, like so many questions running through my head. Like,
Of course.
How is this unclaimed? Like, the label's right here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I bought 100 of them.
Okay.
Because
Just 100 parcels of unclaimed mail.
Yes. I gave the girl $100. She even threw in a few extra because she was all excited.
Of course.
And, I bought them. And right away, I brought them home. And I said, this is crazy, right? Because we opened a couple right when I got home. And, like, we're seeing, like, these very random things. And right away, I was like, I want to make, like, a series and put it on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know what I wanted to do or
Sure.
how, And so like, cause I didn't post my first video of the unclaimed mail until like, I think it was like December 26th, like the end of December or something.
Sure.
So I'd sat on it for 3 months cause I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah, of course.
And if you make videos, if you're a content creator, that like, I don't post anything unless I love it. Unless like, because, you watch it like over and over and that's just how it is. But nothing was like really sitting with me that I liked, I guess. But anyhow, so I was having like friends and family and even coworkers, like people like opening some. I was like recording them because I was like, I'm like, I want to make a series. I'm like, but so anyways, whatever you open, you can keep. I'm like, but I get to put it on TikTok if I want, They're like, yeah. But anyways, so December comes, and it was like the day after Christmas, I think. And anytime I opened one, I recorded it just in case. And that was the day that I opened one and I got that $50 gift card, which was my very first one.
Of course.
That now has like 46 million views, which is crazy.
46 million views on you opening up unclaimed mail, finding a $50 gift card. And for the record, this is all legal, right? This is, I know you're not a lawyer. I'm clearly not a lawyer, but it went through the process. It's been unclaimed for a certain amount of time, and it just becomes free game, or how does that work?
Yeah. So I've been meaning to make a video about that. When I posted my first video, like I had so many people duet it and like stitch it, and I had lawyers duetting it, mailmen, like it was crazy. And, people were like, it is legal or this and that. So here's the process. So basically what happens is, say you send a package to somebody and it doesn't get to them for whatever reason, like maybe the address is like scratched off, or maybe, for some reason they can't deliver it, right? Like your mailbox is full or you can't accept it. Like there's so many reasons. And then it gets returned to sender and blah, 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 back and forth, right?
Sure.
So then at some point, that happens so many times to where it goes to this place called the Mail Recovery Center, which is also known as the Dead Letter Office, which is in, it's like Georgia, I think.
Sure.
I forget where, but that's where they try one more time to get it to where it belongs.
And what's the time frame between then and between the beginning of when it gets sent out until the Dead Letter Office?
I want to say it's something like 3 months, but I've really been not able to find like an actual set thing. But it's all about when it gets to the MRC, the Mail Recovery Center. That's where like they try one more time, and like this is where they get real serious about it. And if they can't, at this point, then either it gets destroyed or they auction it off.
Okay.
And it gets auctioned to this place that they work with called govdeals.com. Okay. So govdeals.com is where all unclaimed mail comes from. Now, here's the thing with that. A lot sometimes, because I tell people, hey, you can go to govdeals.com, but they're like, I can't, because people want the ones like the ones I have that are packaged because they want the surprise. But sometimes they're unwrapped and they're auctioning them off as what they are, like instead of that way. It goes both ways. So here's the thing though, right? When you buy it through govdeals.com, you have to do an auction sale on like big pallets. So you can't just buy like a few. You have to buy like 5 to 10 grand worth, and so, like, for example, the vendor I got it from at the swap meet, they went through somebody who went through somebody and they broke it down real cheap, So, people, that's like the number one question I get. People are like, how do I buy unclaimed mail? Where do I go? And what sucks is like, ever since my videos came out, the place I would go to, now it's like, it's always sold out, or they're, it's like you have to get lucky to get some. But anyways, that's the process, is you have to go through govdeals.com. Sometimes they do it packaged. Sometimes they do it unpackaged.
So I've seen a handful of your videos, and you have like bins worth of all of these parcels.
Yeah.
How long does it take to open up that entire bin if you're doing it by yourself?
Oh, well, I mean, basically, right now I had gone back and bought like as much as I could.
Sure.
But, I have it like all stored in my home office, and I mean, I'm just opening them as I do them.
So you still have parcels that are...
Oh yeah, no, I have so much. So when I ended up doing that first video,
Sure.
Before that, I think I had like at that point, I had 15,000 followers, and I was so proud of that.
Sure.
I worked so hard to get all those followers.
Amazon finds and dog videos and cooking videos and all that.
And so like, I was so proud of that, and that took me so long to build. And I post, and before that I had like one video that had gone viral. It hit like 1 million, and it was me kicking this guy in the balls downtown.
God.
But it was the guy who does it for money.
Okay.
It's like you give, it was actually a corporate event.
Okay.
Like all the big wigs were in town, and we went down there. And
it's a good team building event.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what it was. But anyhow, that was like one that I had that it got to like 1 million, right? So I post that one, and in the first day it hits 8 million, immediately.
That's incredible.
What
did that feel like? What did that first million? What did that feel like?
It was like, it's so different now too.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. Honestly, I felt like it's like a high.
Sure.
And that's what TikTok is, right? It's like a slot machine, and that's why people get addicted to posting, because I don't know. I'll get into the algorithm later and what BS it is. I'm sure you hear Heather talk about that a lot too.
Heather, how do you feel about the algorithm?
Heather, it's bullshit, right? But anyway, so it hit 8 million, and I was calling everyone I knew, and everyone I knew was watching. Like, oh my God, now it's at 6 million, 7 million. My parents, my siblings, all my family, my friends, and it was just like, it was so exciting, right? And then hits 8 million and gets taken down for community guideline restrictions.
Oh.
And I was devastated. I literally almost started to cry. I couldn't believe it, because I was like, oh my God, because it got taken down for illegal activity. Okay. Right? And I'm like, no, but it's not illegal, right? And but there's no one to talk to. When this happens with TikTok, there's nobody to talk to. It's just, it's like a robot or whatever. But anyhow, so of course I immediately appeal it, right? And I'm just devastated, because I'm like, I made plans. I'm like, I said I was gonna do a series. I'm all excited. Like, people actually want to see this. Like, I finally found something that people want to see, and I'm excited about it too. And so that happens, right? And the next day comes, I think it was like a Monday, and I had heard nothing back on the appeal yet, right? Of
course.
So I'm scared. I don't want my whole TikTok account to get banned. So I put out episode 2. And if you go back and you watch episode 2 compared to all of the other ones I put out, it is so different. It's so boring.
How so? Really?
It's so boring and just safe, because I didn't want to do anything to piss off TikTok.
Of course
and
not.
to get my account banned. I already got this first strike, right? And it was appealed. So basically in the second one, I was like, okay. I'm like, if you saw my first video, I'm like, here's another one of those little mystery packages I got. I didn't even say the word mail. I played it so safe.
Good.
It's just, it's really funny if you watch it, because it's just so different. Even people comment, they're like, oh my God, why'd you say this or that? Because I was scared. So anyways, literally 2 hours after I post part 2, I get the appeal back, and everyone goes, you just might as well kiss that video goodbye. Once they get taken down, they never go back
gone
up.
forever.
Right. Yeah. They're like, don't expect to win. So I wasn't expecting it, and I won. Oh my God. It was the best feeling in the world. I was so happy. So, and everyone, I'm like, oh my God, I won the appeal. Like, fuck them, whatever. And so anyway, but I was pissed because I was like, okay, I won the appeal, but now it killed my momentum on the video, right?
Yeah.
I had hit 8 million views. I'm like, now because I took it down, like it's not going to hit what it should have. Dude. And then it just went even more.
Wow.
Yeah. And in the meantime, like day one, God, I had like written it all down, just like the way I grew quickly from that. I should have taken a picture to bring here, but from what I remember on day one, I got up to like 30,000 followers. I was like, oh my God, I like doubled what I had before, right? And I remember that my big goal was to hit 100,000 because on TikTok, once you hit 100,000 followers, you can be part of this thing they call the TikTok creator marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they will like...
Is that where you start making money?
Yes. Like, well, okay, so once you hit 10,000 followers and like I think it's like 10,000 views, you can be part of the TikTok creator fund, which is... garbage. It's nothing. It is nothing. Like before I started making videos that actually got views, I'd make like 1 to 2 cents a day. Heather knows.
Heather knows. Heather, yes.
She knows. So, anyways, and a lot of people make these videos where they're like, I stopped being in the TikTok creator fund because there's so many conspiracies on TikTok about like, if you're in the creator fund, it suppresses your views.
Okay.
Right? Because they don't want to pay you or whatever. And like people say they like opt out of it and suddenly their views are better. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. I've been in it. I've stayed in it. But anyhow, like I think like that first week I hit 100K and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Right. Cause I remember, people were like, well, that's probably a ways off. And like, it was like the month of January. I think I got up to like 500,000 followers just from like the series I started. And like, I think February was when I got up to like 900K. And then March was when I hit 1 million, and then April came, and April is when TikTok rolled out the promotions feature. Do you know about this?
I absolutely do not know about the promotions feature.
Shocker. But so TikTok rolled out their promotions feature. So before, TikTok was this place where you could grow organically, just like, very well if you had videos that were popular. It was like really great for organic growth. But then, then it's like they have you, right? Now you've got like, you've had videos do well and they roll out the promotions feature. And what this means is now it doesn't matter who you are, okay? Even if you're like some puppy dog with like, 100 followers, you can now pay to promote your videos to get them on the For You page, the FYP.
FYP.
Yeah.
I got that now. So let's get back to that mail, the unclaimed mail. So what's the most valuable thing that you feel like you found?
So the most valuable thing so far is probably I found this tanzanite stone.
Okay.
Do you know what tanzanite is?
I do.
Okay. I didn't know what it was before. And it was like a loose tanzanite stone. And I think it was like almost 3 carats. And yeah, that was crazy. So I even did a video where I went and I got it appraised. But here's the thing. To get like a precious gemstone appraised costs a lot of money.
Of course.
It's like something like you're going to pay $300 at the very least. And I was like, I don't want to pay that. I don't even know if it's worth anything. I don't even know if it's real. So I made a video where I brought it to this place here in Vegas. And it was like basically a pawn shop.
Of course.
And the guy told me that he thought it was worth something like $400. But so many other people are like, because I guess Tanzanite, you can only get it in like Tanzania or something. I don't know. A lot of people have told me they think it's worth around like $1,000.
Wow.
Like people who follow me are like, I've even had like gemstone dealers like reach out to me and tell me like.
Have you ever tried to return anything to the owners? Like something that you feel like, I really shouldn't have this. I really should try to get that to the owners.
So
Something special or?
Yes. So for the first time, I got something like that actually just this last week. It was like a crocheted baby jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. I even sent the video. This makes me feel like garbage, you know?
Don't say-
It does. It made me feel awful.
Your life is basically Storage Wars. Have you ever watched Storage Wars?
Yes. Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
are living your best Storage Wars life right now.
Yeah. Yes. I've even mentioned Storage Wars before.
Have you?
Yeah. But yes. But yeah. So that's the thing. So this baby jacket I got, right? And it was supposed to go to Brazil.
Okay.
And on this particular one, like, the actual street name was not legible, but like I could see it's supposed to go to Brazil, whatever. But before that, I mean, I've gotten a couple things like that but this was the first time I got something where I'm like, the person.
You felt it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there was this other time I got like this old school, like silver, like cocktail thing.
Okay.
And inside was like this necklace. And it was very hard for me to open, but people insisted in the comments that this was a one of those things when you cremate somebody.
Oh.
You put them like into a necklace.
Oh.
Yeah. Now look, it didn't come with any paperwork or anything like that, so I don't think that's what it is. I hope it's not. But yeah, I've gotten some things that are like there was this one time I got a key. And it said, there was like a note inside that was like, Dave, you didn't get this from me. Keep me out of it. I don't want anything to do with it, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm just like, wow. And it was like signed J. And even on the outside of the package, it was from somebody named John. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Dave, if you're listening to this, we have your key. Everything is good. We have your key.
Oh, so yeah. So, and I'm just wondering, wow, the fact that he never got this and he probably was like, yeah, I know you got it, blah, blah, blah. Like the drama, right? You know, it's funny you mentioned that. So I got...
Move close to that mic. I don't want to miss a word you're saying right now.
Sorry. So I got this package, it's like almost 2 weeks ago now, and it had inside of it 3 cassettes.
Okay.
And one of them was is like a breakup tape.
Ooh.
I don't mean just songs. I mean like Take Me Back, I Love You. Yes. And like everybody wants me to play it. I even bought a cassette player on Amazon, but I'm like, I feel like that's so wrong.
That's a little too private.
Right?
That's
so
a little
like
private.
I've been thinking and people are constantly like DMing me and commenting, when are you gonna play the cassette? Blah, 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 right? And I'm just like, how can I do this in a respectful way?
Sure.
To please everybody, but also keep this person private, right? Because like I would die if like
Your breakup tape got out there and it got 8 million or 40 million views.
I've listened to it.
How many times have you listened to it?
Oh, just the once.
Okay, good.
That was enough. But it's very personal. And now I'm like, okay, I could do like a distorted voice thing, right? So you don't know. But I don't know. I haven't played it because like I just am like, oh my God, I feel like that's wrong.
Do you feel that a lot more people are getting into unclaimed mail because of how popular your account's been?
Yeah, like it's funny. There's this guy who, I don't know, you might have seen the video I posted, but like he just started a business because of my videos.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like a young guy. He's like 20, but he's like, you know, your videos are so popular and like it's not just me. There's other people who do like the unclaimed mail thing on TikTok that I've seen, but like I don't see anyone who has like a series like mine. I think more people, it's just like random here and there. I don't know, not that I know of, but this guy started a business and he's like this young guy and he like invested all this money into buying unclaimed mail and like he's, you know, having me like do videos to like help sell it. And like, you know, people always ask me like, Stephanie, why don't you sell unclaimed mail? Why don't you go to the swap
Sell
meet
it before or after it's opened?
before?
Before it's opened.
Oh my God. I cannot tell you how many just like DMs I get from people being like, listen, if you go to the swap meet and buy however many, I'll pay you triple or quadruple and I'll pay you this and that. Here's the thing. It's very hard to get now. Like I went back after my series started doing really well. I originally was just supposed to be a 30-part series,
Okay.
but it
A 3 or 30?
30.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, but then I couldn't believe how well it did. Right. And
Can't
like
stop.
people just love it. Like, here's the things that I love the most is when people go, oh my God, like I just found your page and I binged all 70 episodes. Or like, I love it when you put out these videos because it really takes my mind off things. Or like, I love when I hear you go like, this is the series. And Like, I can't believe how much people like it, you know? And so anyways, I ended up extending it to 100. I went back.
Wow.
I got lucky. I went back a couple times, but in the first 2 times they were sold out. And, you know, I've gotten people sending me like awful emails too, being like, you ruined it for everybody. And now,
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
people being like, oh my God, like now it's like so hard to get and they're always sold out and blah, blah, blah. Like people are like driving from like all places all over going to the swap meet to try to get it. And like, I also heard this like awful story where somebody was like, yeah, somebody went down there and they were sold out. You have to pay like $1 to get into the swap meet.
Okay.
And they were sold out. And on the way out, they like attacked the person selling the tickets because they wouldn't give them a refund. And they were like, I couldn't even buy what I went in there for. And I'm
Are
like,
you causing an uprising? Is that what you're doing? Are you solely responsible for the uprising?
it's crazy. But I ended up getting lucky. And when they did have more, I bought everything they had. Just so I could extend the series. I bought like, I want to say 2 pallets worth.
How do you, outside of sponsorships and paid posts, are you able to make money from the unclaimed mail? I'm assuming by reselling or selling the products that you're finding or what?
Yeah. So, okay. So I got a little bit off there. So, you know, I don't think I'll probably ever sell unclaimed mail because I don't want to make it like a business for me. I love that my series is like entertaining for people. And that's how I want to keep it. Like, I don't ever want those episodes to be like sponsored or anything like that. But yeah, so what I do is like the stuff that I open, I sell it. I have like an eBay store. At one point I had like messed around with a website.
Sure.
But I think I talked to you about that
I did.
when I was trying to get like Google AdSense. Anyway, so for now I just have the eBay store. It's kind of funny because, you know, that's what you do. But yeah, so I resell it with that. That's
So what's your typical day? If you're having a full day of opening parcels and, you know, making TikToks about it, what's like a typical day for you, start to finish?
like my whole life or just TikTok?
Just in the past 11 months, 10 months doing this.
You know, it's
Move closer to that mic. Get over
Sorry.
here. Get over here. Get over here.
you know, that's been really challenging, like just trying to balance that out, I guess.
Because
But,
you're also working a full-time job, right?
Yeah, but like it's still, you know, I'm working from home still mainly, like luckily just because of like, I guess COVID and everything. Like now it's just like a hybrid model.
Sure.
So that's good for me. I really only go into the office now like once or twice a week, just to really like just do the stuff that's necessary. But what I do is I try to make like a schedule for the week for like filming and you know, editing and all that. So
So you're pretty well organized.
yes. You know, I think like we were talking about earlier about like daylight hours. Like I prefer to film in the daytime. I just like how the videos look more. I like the vibe, you know? And so yeah, I try to wake up early to like film anything I have scheduled. I don't know. What are you asking me exactly?
I'm asking, so for somebody who's getting into this, somebody who's looking to do something very similar to what you're doing, you know, you wake up, you have certain days that you go to a swap meet, you know who to go to, you try to get as many parcels as you can, you bring it home, you have a schedule now of, you know, of when you open these packages, these hundreds and hundreds of packages that you have, you open them up, you make videos about them. I mean, you edit these videos, you post these videos. I mean, it sounds fun, but it sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
Is it?
So to be clear, I've only been to the swap meet twice.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I've only bought from it twice.
Okay.
The first time was the first time, and the second time I bought as many as I could. I bought everything they had the second time, basically. So, you know, and I bought enough to do like the whole like 100 episodes that I committed to.
So when you started to pick up a lot of traction, you got picked up by a few outlets, right? Like some media outlets.
Oh, yeah.
How did that work? How does that even happen?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. So that was like, and this is kind of like what we were talking about, where like I wish there was like a one-stop shop where there's someone who could like tell you what to expect and like
Sure.
what to do and whatever, because I feel like I definitely screwed some things up because I didn't really know.
And you're handling all this yourself. You
All
have
of
no
it.
manager, you have no
Nothing.
advisor or anything like that.
Yeah. So when like my videos, like in the very beginning, like when I first started the series, started like going viral, you know, I had like these huge like media outlets. Like one was called like, I've probably had like something like 40 of them, like, you know, air my series. And
Sure.
they ask, what they do is they reach out, like, here's like some of the names of the ones, like Puberty, Lad Bible, Unilad, BuzzFeed, you know.
Huge names, by the way.
Yeah. So like,
Huge names.
but like when I very first get like them reaching out to me, I'm like, whoa, like, but I don't really, you know, I don't really understand. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? Right.
Yeah.
So they're asking like, hey, we want to post your video. Like, is that okay? And we'll give you credit, you know? And, you know, in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm like trying to ask people I know. I'm like, okay, what do I say? Do I say yes, no? Like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? It is a good thing. You always say yes. And, you know, I feel like by those outlets reposting my videos is what helped me grow. Like BuzzFeed was like a huge one. So BuzzFeed, that was really cool. Like that was like an actual interview that I was like part of. Like that was like, you know, they had me like redo a bunch of my videos because of the music. And then they asked me like all these questions. And of course it was virtual. And they made like an actual video of them like interviewing me about it. And then like them like commentating. And like that was so cool.
Do you ever feel like you've gotten like a fast one pulled over on you by one of these outlets or something that you felt like, I don't really like the way that played out?
No, not yet. But like in the beginning, of course, I wondered that, you know, like, because I was like, wait, I'm like, there's just so many questions that you have and you wonder like, am I doing this right? Like, do I say yes or no? You know, it's all trial and error. So, you know, I hope like anybody who's starting out, like if you ever get those kinds of offers, say yes, because it's only going to help you. And, you know, it's every time I would see like a burst like in followers, it was because somebody posted something and I ended up having like 3 or 4 articles like written about my series. And like just, I think it was like last week, there was a new one written, which was so cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Like, so like, you know, because a lot of it was like in the beginning, but like, so the one that came out last week, I was like, whoa. And like, people always let you know, like followers, like, oh my God, look, you're just in this article, whatever. And like, that's cool. So, but yeah, always say yes. At least that would be my advice.
Now, what about when it comes to paid posts or people who say, you know, we'll send you a free sample of our stuff if you make a post about it? For that, you don't always say yes. Is that right?
Right. Well,
Explain that to me.
okay. So that kind of starts to turn into, you know, when you start to get into like the paid posts, it turns into like, who do you want to be associated with, right? And like, who are you going to represent? And you're going to make mistakes, right? I definitely, you know, you have to like just go for it. You can't, I don't know. That would be like my biggest advice to anybody who's doing like, you know, making videos and having any success. Just, you have to take chances and just go for it. And even if you mess up and you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. It's okay. You know, you will recover. And, but yes, like with a paid post, you know, I don't know, unless it's something.
You've had companies come to you that maybe you felt like aren't the right fit for your demographic. It would just feel out of place.
Yes. But yeah, with paid posts, you know, here's something I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Okay. So when it comes to paid posts, like, yes, like when you start getting those offers, like I would just say, like, do what feels right. You know, if you like it, you know, do it. And as far as like knowing like what you should be charging and whatnot, that it's really hard to say, you know,
There really isn't a guideline or anything to really go by.
There isn't. And there's so many people out there that are like social media managers that like you could probably go to that could guide you better. But I mean, there's so many people that are like, oh, do I really want to pay somebody, you know, whatever. But
how often do you have these companies reaching out to you?
Weekly.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say sometimes even daily.
Wow.
But like, you know, I was talking to some people at that dinner we went to. I was saying that like here's some of the things I want to say. Like, I think everyone should make a wish list
course.
of like brands that they would love to work with. Because people always say, oh, did they reach out to you or did you reach out to them?
Yep.
And it's both. I would say like of the brand deals you see me do, probably 75% is they've reached out to me.
How do you reach out to? What's your opening line, or what's your way to reach out to these companies?
Question.
Thank you so much.
So, DMing on Instagram. Okay. So like that's a great way to see where they stand. Like, is there a budget? Are they working with influencers? Do they want to? Right. So like, say you reach out to like Red Bull on Instagram, and if they reach back out to you and they're like, hey, you know, email us at this email. And that's where like we deal with our influencers.
Sure.
And like some people will deal with you right there on Instagram. Also, like if you're really sneaky, like do a little more research and find like their influencer emails like online. I have found them.
Pretty sneaky.
Yes. But like I also think people should make a media kit. Do you know what that is?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. All right. So
explain what a media kit is.
okay, so a media kit, you're gonna have some brands that ask you for that. So you should just have one ready. A great place to make one is Canva. Canva is amazing.
Canva's great.
Yes. Canva is just constantly impressing me. But a media kit is basically, I guess, like an influencer social media resume almost. It's like your picture. It has, you know, everything a brand needs to know about you. Like what social media platforms are you on? How many followers do you have? What are your demographics? What are your rates? That's always the big question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brands are going to go, okay, what are your rates? Then you're going to have some brands that reach out to you and they just offer you something right away, right? I mean, I love that when they just start off with something.
So easy like that.
Yes, but then here's something, okay? So like this is a great example. So I had a brand reach out to me. You know, just remember these brands, the stuff they send, that costs them nothing.
Sure.
Okay? So do not get fooled by that, all right? That costs them nothing. So like I had a brand reach out to me and they, you know, they're like, oh, like we want to send you, you know, this product we have, right? And it was like a nice product.
Okay.
I don't want to say what it was because you might know who it is,
That's
but
fine.
it's worth like $150, right? But like I was like, okay, I already have one, whatever. Like, but they didn't offer any money. So, you know, don't be afraid to ask, is this a paid collaboration? Because they have a budget and they are waiting to see if you're going to ask. And like for this one, for example, like they didn't offer any money. They offered me the product. They go, we would love to send you this product to review. I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, is this a paid collaboration? They're like, well, it can be. We can give you $500. Well, really? And then that's when the negotiating begins, okay?
That's where the fun part begins.
Right. Now, here's something I would also say. If it's like a brand that like you love, okay, that like you want to work with and like you would just love to have that on your resume. Like I know recently like Heather got Starbucks. Oh my God, amazing. Like
pretty
I would
incredible.
do that fully for free, you know?
Heather, congratulations, by the way. That's a huge deal. Starbucks is following her on Instagram now, and that's unbelievable.
God,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, but basically, you know, and that's why it's like hard when people ask me like, how much you charge for a video? It depends.
Sure.
It depends on like who you are. What is it doing for me?
course.
Like, you know, if it's like some huge, like, you know, there was this one like robot vacuum that was making like the rounds on
Okay.
TikTok. Like, and this thing goes for $1,200. Okay. It is nice. And I remember just being like, I want that thing so bad. And so I was like, oh, I hope they reach out to me. And it's $1,200. So that's where like I was willing to be like, okay, like I will do it in exchange for the product for this, right? But it's really like, yeah, you have to think of like how much time is it taking me to negotiate with them,
Right.
to make the video, to edit, all of that. But here's something that's crazy to me. I don't know if I brought this up when we met that night because it was so loud.
It was very loud. I heard like half of what you said all night, but I knew the intention was there. I knew it was very informative.
I know.
Everything I heard was great though.
You know, the 2 days afterwards, I like completely lost my voice.
Ears were ringing. My ears were ringing for sure.
Like even like in like videos that made people were like, "Are you sick? Are you okay?" Like I had to like I couldn't even do anything. But so obviously, you know who David Dobrik is, right?
do.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure from the conversation we had earlier.
Yes, I passed that test.
So David Dobrik, if you don't know, he's like a huge YouTuber. Like I would say like Mr. Beast level for sure. So he has a podcast he does.
Okay.
I was listening to one day and this was shocking to me. Okay. He has a little sister apparently. Who knew? And she is on TikTok and she's like 17 and like gorgeous with blonde hair, like very pretty girl. And apparently she reached out to him and was like, hey, so she has, at the time, she had like 800,000 followers. And she reached out to him and was like, yeah, this clothing company reached out. They want to send me like some outfits to do a video. How much should I ask for? Like, should I just like take the outfits, maybe $50?
Sure.
He's like, what? $50? He's like, and then like he told her, first of all, the product is nothing, right? Like, don't get caught up. Like when brands try to tell you, oh, well, we're sending you the product, you don't even want it half the time, okay? Yeah. So, or you want it, or, you know, whatever, but like, it's not important. So, you know, I remember he ended up like advising her that she should be charging $800 for a video like that. And okay, this is what really got me, okay? Because I'm like, if David Dobrik's hot little sister doesn't know what she's worth and that she should be charging brands however much money,
how is like, anybody else going to know?
Yes, and it affects all of us. Think of it as like comps for a house, sure, right? Like when somebody sells too cheap and high, whatever. So when you got David Dobrik's little sister doing it for free or for $50, and then there's this girl I just started following. Her handle is like something like her first 100K, and this girl is just dope. She's amazing. Okay. She's charging $12K per video.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, so you got that and that. So like when you got people that don't know what they should be doing and they're charging nothing or little to nothing, and you know, then you have a brand coming to you and you're charging whatever you charge, they're like, well, why are we going to pay her when we could go to her for this? And, you know, I guess it just depends on like what the brand wants. Like, is this something specific? Like, obviously, like if it's for me, like unclaimed mail, like that's different. But, you know, if it's just something like random, like clothes or an app, but that's what I was trying to talk to you about that night. Like everybody needs like a one-stop shop where they can go and like learn about these things and what they should be doing, because they don't know, especially I guess the younger kids. I know some of them are super business savvy, but when I heard that thing with David Dobrik's little sister, I was like, that is not good.
Now that people are, I mean, eventually people will get more comfortable talking about money. Hopefully people get more comfortable talking about money. They you know, have higher values of, you know, where they value their time and efforts. But when you get to a point, you're working, you know, let's say you're working a full-time job and you're starting to make some good money with these paid posts. Now, when do you feel, and this, I guess this can kind of vary based on each person and their scenario, but when do you feel like it's okay to quit that secure paycheck and the 9 to 5 and do something like this full time? Like, is there something that you feel like would trigger or something that you want to, you know, happen in order for you to take that leap or have somebody in your position take that leap?
Yeah, that.
What advice would you give to somebody in a position like that?
So like, I'm definitely somebody right now that is definitely, you know, sort of straddling that decision as well. You know, I mean, I know like, I remember like when I was like in my 20s, I used to do cocktails and like and then that was like when I first got into real estate. And I remember they would always be like, oh, like don't keep your, you know, your cocktail job, like, you know, completely commit, you know, whatever, you know, but to answer your question,
is there a feeling? Is there?
Yeah, I think that, you know, like for me personally, like I'm ready. Like the fact that I haven't quit my regular corporate job has really nothing to do with how I'm doing on TikTok. Like I had told you at dinner that, you know, I won't say how much, but like definitely there are months where I'm doing better on TikTok than even my regular job.
Of course.
So like, I wonder, like, it definitely gets in the way.
It definitely can.
It definitely gets in the way. And I wonder, like, if I completely committed to that, how well could I do, right? And I don't know. I mean, it's a really personal question. It's, I think for everybody, it's just kind of like, you have to kind of like believe in yourself.
Right.
You know, you have to be ready. I mean, it is, right? It's hard to quit that secure job. And, you know, everybody thinks, oh, yeah, like be a content creator on the side, extra money. But it is a full-time job.
Absolutely it is.
And I always used to think that, too, that it's just kind of like, you know.
When I was, before I took that jump to start my digital marketing company, I was selling ads in the yellow pages to business owners over the phone, and I'm even getting bored just
So
talking
you're like a
about it.
media buyer.
I was selling these ad spaces in the yellow pages to local plumbers, to local contractors, to anybody that had a business locally in Oxnard, California.
Wow.
And first of all, the yellow pages were dead by that time. Second of all, I had to do it over the phone. Third of all, cold calling is brutal. But in my scenario, I had a safety blanket. I had my family, 100% supportive of me taking that leap. And my dad would even said, I just moved to Vegas, come out to Vegas, live with me rent free, so you can save as much money to try to snowball this idea that you have into an actually full-fledged business. And fortunately, I did. And I was very fortunate to take that. And here we are, 10 years later. I got this digital marketing company. It's doing really well. I have 10 employees. And it allows me to, expand my reach of what else I could do, like with, doing the show or something like that. So
Yeah.
I think it really just depends on the scenario that you're in. Each person has a different scenario, but if you have a safety net, if you have some sort of opportunity to take that jump, absolutely take it, without a doubt, because it's so rare to have a safety net like family or friends who are there to say,
Yeah.
follow it. It may not make money yet, but you can take these risks. So if there's anybody listening, if you get an opportunity like that, absolutely take the opportunity if you have the safety net. I'm not saying quit your day job right now, but I'm just saying evaluate your opportunities that you have there.
I hope the next time I talk to you that I have made that leap.
Good.
It's really, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what I'm waiting for,
You'll know.
Yeah.
One day you'll wake up and you'll be like, you know what? This is the right decision to make. I have full faith in that. And I have one more question for you. So I asked Heather this all the time, but as great as TikTok is, as great as all this content creation is, what happens when you have a setback or a video isn't performing the way you think, or you get discouraged, or how do you handle that? How do you handle setbacks or things not working out the way that you anticipate them to do on these social media platforms?
Third tantrum.
Do you?
Okay. So probably, I don't know. Something somebody told me recently, it was like one of those social media manager type accounts. They said, TikTok is kind of like a slot machine. Like you'll have like videos do good and bad and whatever, and it's just to kind of keep getting you to post. So
Sure.
I keep keeping that in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, this has nothing to do with me. This is just the algorithm. And then like probably the worst feeling is when you get a video taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's had a video taken down knows the feeling. It just feels like you're being punished. And every time I've appealed it, I've got it back up. There was one time I didn't, but it's totally understandable.
Of course.
But definitely just keep going. You're gonna have those good days and bad days, and especially if like you've had success and you've had videos do well, sometimes it's hard to top that, and you just have to keep going. And like even if your views like like I had that one video got like 46 million views, and like in the very beginning of my series, all of them were in the millions.
Sure.
But like now I'm happy if one breaks a million here and
Right.
there, but like that's just how it is. It's not always going to be like that. And it's getting, TikTok is getting more and more congested, and just more and more people. So there's more competition, and now there's the promotion. So I would say to handle that, just keep going, I would, don't let it affect you. That's kind of how I deal with it. I try. It's hard sometimes not to let it really
Can't take it personal.
Yeah, but it's silly, and also diversify. Okay, like upload to everything. Do not just put all your eggs in one basket with TikTok or whatever. Put them on everything. Put them on Instagram, Reels, YouTube Shorts, Spotlight, YouTube, whatever, all of them, because I'm starting to learn now that I'm doing that. I'm having some videos do better than they're doing on TikTok. And one day we might all wake up and TikTok might be gone.
Absolutely.
You know?
What a
Remember
horrible
MySpace?
world. Horrible world that would
Yeah,
be.
I just heard that Facebook is like going to change their name.
I think they're just trying to change the topic. That's
Yeah.
they're trying to get the attention away from that.
But yeah, that would be my answer, is to diversify. Be on all the platforms. Do not just commit to the one that you're doing well on, because it's, you can't put everything into that. You have to spread yourself out.
Well, Stephanie, this was awesome. This was so much fun. I'm so glad you came here. Where can people find you on Instagram, on TikTok? Tell the world.
Just Stephanie Grime is the easiest thing to look up. That's the constant for everything.
Perfect.
Just my name.
Perfect. Awesome. Stephanie, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, no, for me too.
I definitely want to have you back.
Okay. Next time, hopefully you'll know some of the TikTok questions.
Absolutely, I will.
You need to put that in.
No, yeah. Absolutely, we will. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys.
Okay, bye.
Nicely done.
Yay! That was fun.